Hello everyone, I'm Sifa Apriliana from Manajemen, Faculty of Economics, State University of Jakarta. I would like to present the result of my research entitled The Effect of Work Stress and Work Environment on Organizational Commitment on Employee of PDAM Kota Magelang. Chapter 1 Background. Organizational commitment is needed for every employee in organizational because with the organizational commitment of each employee will be more enthusiastic to advance the organization. An article published on liputan6.com shows that more than 30% of the workforce in Indonesia will be looking for a new job in the near future. This is based on the accumulation of 20% of employees planning to move in the near future and 13% are looking for a new job while 28% intend to stay in the company for the long term. The table shows the most employees are still hesitant or unsure about maintaining their membership in the company. Employees do not fully reflect their loyalty to the company and are still considering for looking for a better job from the company where they currently work. The low level of organization commitment can be also seen from the level of daily employee attendance. Table shows that the employee absenteeism of PDAM Magelang City in 2020 has changed or fluctuated. Employee absenteeism, which tends to increase every month, indicate that there is a problem with organizational commitment. The graph shows that work stress and work environment have the highest value, as many as 9 respondents who expressed agreement to the problems that exist in the organization. Chapter 2 Literature Review. First, organizational commitment. Organizational commitment is a picture of an employee who has an attachment to his organization so that he identifies himself as part of the organization and accept the value and goals of the organization and be loyal to his organization. Second, work stress. Job stress is a feeling of pressure and discomfort caused by the work environment, such as job demands that exceed their abilities and responsibilities so that they have an impact on employee response to their work, such a deviation from the organization. Third, work environment. The work environment is everything related to work, both physically and non-physically, of completing work tasks in an effort to achieve organization goals. Research model and hypothesis. Hypothesis 1. Work stress has a negative effect on organizational commitment to PDAM Magelang City employee. Hypothesis 2. Work environment has positive effect on organizational commitment of PDAM Magelang City employee. Hypothesis 3. Work stress and work environment affect the organization commitment of PDAM Magelang City employee. Chapter 3 Methodology. Place in PDAM Kota Magelang. Time January until July 2021. Type of research quantitative research. Population all employee of PDAM Magelang City 148 employee. Sample 108 employee. Data analysis technique using SPSS program. And first, instrument test consisting of validity test and reliability test. Second, classic assumption test consisting of normality test, linearity test, multicollinearity test, and heterogeneity test. Third, descriptive statistical analysis. Fourth, hypothesis testing consisting of multiple linear regression analysis, t-test, f-test, coefficient of determination. Chapter 4 The result. Characteristics of respondents by gender show that the respondents in the study were dominated by male employee compared to female employee. Characteristics of respondents based on age show that as many as 42% of respondents were in the age group of 20 to 30 years. As many as 37% respondents were in the age group of 31 to 40 years, and as many as 21% of respondents were in the age group of more than 40 years. Characteristics of respondents based on educational level show that as many as 58% of respondents were graduate of SMA, SMK, or sederajat. As many as 6% of respondents were diploma graduates, 35% of respondents were undergraduate, and 1% of respondents were postgraduate. Characteristics of respondents based on years of service show that as many as 65% of respondents has had a working period of 0 to 10 years, as many as 21% of respondents had a working period of 11 to 20 years, and as many as 14% of respondents had a service period of more than 20 years. Validity and reliability tests. Based on the table of validity tests carried on the organizational commitment variable, it can be seen that there are 4 invalid statements in statement items 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 10, so they must be removed. Based on the table of validity tests carried on the work stress variable, it can be seen that there are 6 items that are invalid in statement items 2, 3, 4, 7, 11, and 14, so they must be removed. Based on the table of validity tests carried on the work environment variable, it can be seen that overall the results are declared valid so that they can be used in the real research. The result of the reliability test show that each variable was declared reliable because it had current alpha more than 0.70. Normality test. The normality test shows that assume value seek to tile or significant value of 0.200 where the value is greater than the significant level of 0.05. Linearity test. The linearity test shows that the work stress variable with organizational commitment is 0.002. It can be concluded that the two variables have a linear relationship because the significant value is less than 0.05. The linearity test shows that the work environment variable with organizational commitment is 0.000. It can be concluded that the two variables have a linear relationship because the significant value is less than 0.05. Multicollinearity test. The result of the multicollinearity test show that the p-value for the work stress variable was 1.872 and the p-value for the work environment variable was 1.872. The p-value of the two independent variables is less than 5. So it can be concluded that between the two independent variables there is no multicollinearity and the regression model is accepted. Heteroscedasticity test. The result of the heteroscedasticity test show that there was no heteroscedasticity problem or no variance inequality from the residual for all observation in the regression model because the correlation significance value was more than 0.05. Descriptive statistical analysis. From the overall average of the organizational commitment variable, it can be seen that the average respondent answer to strongly disagree is 2.8%. Disagree answer as much as 49.3%, answer agree as much as 42.3%, and the answer strongly agree 5.6%. Then the total percentage of strongly disagree and disagree for the variable is 52%. When compared with the weight of score interpretation criteria, the organizational commitment variable is the low category. It can be concluded that the organizational commitment of PDAM Magelang City employee is still low. Descriptive statistical analysis for work stress. From the overall average of the work stress variable, it can be seen that the average respondent answer to the answer strongly disagree is 2%. The answer disagree as much as 46.0%. Answer agree as much as 48.6%, and the answer strongly agree 2.5%. Then the total percentage of strongly agree and agree for the variable is 51.1%. When compared with the weight of the star interpretation criteria, the job stress variable is in the high category. It can be concluded that the work stress of PD Magelang City employees is high. Descriptive statistical analysis for work environment. From the overall average of the work environment variable, it can be seen that the average respondent answers strongly disagree answer are 2%, disagree answer as much as 36.3%, answer agree as much as 54.2%, and the answer strongly agree 7.5%. Then the total percentage of strongly agree, disagree, and disagree for this variable is 38.3%. When compared with the weight of the score interpretation criteria, the work environment variable in the high category, it can be concluded that the work environment owned by PD Magelang is high. Multiple linear regression analysis. The linear regression equation is y equal 20.4043 minus 0.317x1 plus 0.741x2. T-test. The work stress variable has a T-account value of 2.291, which is greater than the T-table value 1.98282, and is a significant value of 0.020, which is smaller than 0.05. This value indicates that the job stress has a negative and significant effect on organizational commitment, so the hypothesis H1 is accepted and H01 is rejected. 2. The work environment variable has a T-account value of 7.416, which is greater than the table value 1.98282, and has a significant value of 0.000, which is smaller than 0.05. This value indicates that the work environment has a positive and significant influence on organizational commitment, so the hypothesis HA2 is accepted and H02 is rejected. F-test. The result of F-test show that the significance value is 0.00, which means it's smaller than 0.05. So it can be concluded that the work stress and work environment together have a significant influence on organizational commitment. Coefficient of determination. The coefficient of determination test show that the adjusted R-square value is 0.386. It can be concluded that the variable of work stress and work environment have an influence on organizational commitment by 38.7%, while the rest is influenced by other variables. Chapter 5 Conclusion. First, description of work stress, work environment, and organizational commitment of PD Magelang City employee. The work stress of PD Magelang City employee is included in the high category. B. The work environment of PD Magelang City employee is included in the high category. C. The organizational commitment of PD Magelang City employee is included in the low category. Second, work stress has a negative and significant effect on the organizational commitment of PD Magelang City employee. Third, the work environment has a positive effect on the organizational commitment of PD Magelang City employee. Fourth, work stress and work environment together affect the organizational commitment of PD Magelang City employee. Implication. First, In the work stress variable, the leader needs to maintain not to discriminate between each employee so that the social inequality does not occur and employees feel comfortable to survive in the organization. Second, in the work environment variable, good lighting helps employees in completing for work efficiently. Organizations need to maintain a work environment like this because sufficient light in the room will make it easier for employees to complete their work tasks. Third, in the organizational commitment variable, loyalty shows employee loyalty to the organization. Employee loyalty to the organization needs to be maintained in various ways, such as provide compensation to employee, pay attention to tasks assigned to employee, monitor the level of employee absenteeism, pay attention to employee initiative and creativity in doing tasks so that they can be improved for the progress of the organization. Suggestion for work stress. First, organizations should pay more attention to know exactly what facility and infrastructure are most needed to support work activity and fulfill them immediately so that the work process is not hampered. Second, the organization is very concerned about employee safety by implementing an effective work safety and security system in accordance with applicable work procedure or standards such as providing PPE, safety helmet, masks, rubber boots, etc. for employees who work in polluted environment conditions. Third, the organization began to apply rewards to employees who have completed work exceeding to given targets so that the employee become more enthusiastic and challenged in completing their work tasks. Fourth, the organization makes clear SOPs to regulate all activity within the organization and provide direction for the tasks to be given so that the employee don't feel confused. For five, the leader create a more flexible work climate such as interacting with employee on a regular basis so that each of them know both the leadership and employees once so that employees become more comfortable and don't feel tense and pressure. Suggestion for work environment. The organization ensures that the safety of employees by creating a safe and conducive working environment in accordance with Key 3. In addition, organization can conduct regular introduction and training for both new and existing employees to reduce the risk of work accident and also improve organizational security. Second, leaders or superior must pay more attention to their employee and provide clear work procedure for each task they are given and help them when employees have difficulty completing work assignment. Suggestion for organizational commitment. First, organization must pay more attention to employees who are indicated to have decreased performance through continued performance evaluation and coaching. Then involve them in decision making, provide interesting and challenging work. Finally, give reward to employees who have achieved the target or give strict sanction to those who do not experience improvement. Second, the organization minimizes the threat of employee to leave the organization by creating a safe, comfortable work environment and evaluating its employees so that the organization know what obstacle the employee is experiencing and provide the right solution. Third, organization can create a comfortable work environment, provide supporting facility, provide incentive for outstanding employee, conduct routine performance evaluation and carry out interesting activity on the sidelines of busy work in order to create emotional closeness so the employee have a sense of belonging to the organization. Research limitation and recommendation. Research limitation. First, this research was carried out when the COVID-19 pandemic was at peak so that the data collection process could not be carried optimally because of the company policy to limit employee and guests attending to the office. Second, this study used questionnaire as data collection tool so that the respondent answer sometimes do not show the real situation. Recommendation for the further research. Further research is expected to be carried out with when the COVID-19 pandemic is under control, so that the research process in retrieving the required data can be carried out optimally. Second, further research can use other research methods that can better describe the actual situation in the object of this research. Thank you for the attention. See you.